So hello guys, welcome back. So this is our second session for the first chapter. In our first session, we have learned about the meaning of research, definition of research through the different scientists. We have also learned about the type of research on the various bases, and finally we have discussed about the motivation of doing research in general way or in a specific way. Today or now onwards, we are going to understand about the research and scientific methods, research process and criteria of a good research. If you miss that one, let me suggest you, please first you see that first session of this chapter so that you can connect this second session very well. In first session, we have learned about the meaning of research. We see research is an organized and systematic way of finding a problem to a solution to a problem, or it's a systematic and organized way. The research is a systematic and organized way where we are trying to get the answer to a question. Then we have seen that there are different type of research on different bases. We have learned about the 5 bases, like on the basis of outcome. We know about the fundamental research and the applied research. On the basis of purpose, we have the 4 type of research: exploratory research, descriptive research, analytic research, predictive research. Then further we have learned about on the basis of process, we have qualitative research, quantitative research. On the basis of environment under which the research is conducted, field research is there, laboratory research is there, simulation research is there. And also on the basis of time required to complete a research, one time research and longitudinal research. We also have seen that the motivation of doing research, why a person or why a researcher is conducting a research. There are various reasons. These are the reasons which are general reason, like to get a degree, to get the respect, to get a promotion, to solve the challenging, because my mind, or because of my analytical bent of mind, because of the government direction. These all are the some specific general reason. We have also seen the specific reasons of doing research, like within the organization, what are the reasons a company is conducting a research, or what are the reasons a company is going for a research. It may be because of the to take the competitive advantage, or to introduce a new product into the market, to get the preference and taste of the customer, to enhance the profit, to reduce the losses, to adopt a new strategy. So these all are the reasons, or these all are the motivation why a company is, or why a business is going for a research. So we have seen these things in our previous session. So we will continue with the same chapter number 1. But our next thing is research and scientific methods. See, research and scientific method is saying, we all know science means truth, or science is some logic things. If you are saying something, you have the proof for that one. Science always require a proof. If I am saying that the world is, or the universe, or the earth is wrong, what is the proof? Yes, there was a proof. Somebody started from one point and it will reach to the same point if he is going at the axis of the whole world. So that is by proof, with the help of experiment, with the help of observation, with the help of different activities. If it is going to be proved, it is called as a science. The same way, there are the 4 criteria as per different scientists, that if your research falls under these 4 criteria, we can say that this research is a scientific research, or this research is applying a scientific method. What are the 4 criteria? You can see here. Important characteristics of a scientific method. If your research is empirical, if your research is verifiable, if your research is cumulative, if your research is deterministic, you can say that your research is a scientific research, or your research applying the scientific method. Let us understand what does it mean by these. All are the very fancy terms, but these are the very simple meaning, like empirical. See, if I am saying that being a researcher, I am applying the theory, I am applying the previous knowledge, which can be proved further, or which can be verified with the same results, with the same number of people. It means I am using empirical research. Let me repeat. A scientist or a researcher, when he is applying something to get his result, the method for applying his method, like the qualitative method, quantitative methods, or some survey methods, or some other observation method, whatever the experiment, even for the experiment, pre-test, post-test, when he is conducting these things and getting the results, so that this is called as the empirical. Why? Because in the future I can verify these things. So first thing is the empirical. Second thing is verifiable, means I have conducted my research empirically. Now somebody else come and using the same thing, applying the same thing, and try to verify my research, whether the research or whether the result is right or wrong. So this is called as a verifiable. Means I have conducted the research with the help of some various methods, which is already proven. I am using the empirical. Somebody else will come and try to verify my research. It is called as a verifiable. Cumulative means all the previous knowledge is added to the next knowledge. Means first I will find out the problem, then I will have some reasons for the problem, then this knowledge will leads me to develop my hypothesis, to develop my research questions, to verify my, or you can say that to go further for my objective. So my previous all knowledge is added to the next knowledge. My first chapter will be the basis for my second chapter. Then where my second chapter has been ended, then the first and second chapter is the basis for my third chapter. On the basis of first and second, I am going for the research design, which is going to be which method I am going to apply. What is the methodology for my research? That is the basic things. So empirical is using the theory, using the law, using the technique which is already there and which is verifiable. My research can be verifiable. Empirical. Somebody else is going to verify my research and getting the same result. Second one. Cumulative, adding the previous knowledge. Second and fourth one is deterministic. Deterministic means is saying that the logical understanding must be there. In science, as I told you, science is not saying that it just happened. No. Everything happened for a reason. Means suppose if I have the cause, if I have the problem, what are the causes for this problem and what will be the solution for this problem? That will be also called as a deterministic. Means I cannot say in the morning I am getting a stomach pain or I am facing the headache. No, if I visit to the doctor asks me the first questions. What you eat last night, or what was happened with you in the previous day or the one or two day before. Why he is asking for this thing? He want to know the causes for this particular reasons of it, so that he will get the accordingly me to the medicine. Same thing is happening for the scientific method. I want to know what are the causes for my problem. Not only the problem, my people are not motivated. What are the causes? If these are the causes, if I understand the causes, I can go for the solution for that. So if your research falls under this four category, empirical, verifiable, cumulative and deterministic, it means your research is a scientific research. I hope you understand. Let us move to the next one, which is again the important part of this one. This is the research process. Even you can say this is the complete course outline for your research methodology course. Or even you can also go further and can say if you can draw a framework for this research process. Generally 5-6 things are more important. Step by step, you understand. I hope you remember the meaning of the research. Means it says step by step, process, systematic, organized. It means the first and foremost is the identification and finding a problem. We have the different sources, internal sources, external sources, our own experience, other people experience, to find a problem. So the first thing is the identifying and formulating the research problem, and also framing it, writing it in terms of research questions, in terms of research objective. Then we are going for the extensive literature survey. Means we have gone through the literature review. Literature review means we have studied some empirical research of the previous scientist or some previous empirical research of the previous researcher. Also, we have gone through the various theoretical things, various conceptual research, so that we can get an idea, better idea, what other researchers has got this result for the same type of research or little bit similar type of research. And with the help of our problem, with the help of literature, we will develop the working hypothesis, or at the BBA level we will develop the research questions. Basically, let me tell you what is the hypothesis is. Hypothesis is not a mere guess. It is an educated guess. Educated means on the basis of my previous knowledge, on the basis of my previous experience, on the basis of my representative on which I am going to conduct the research, I get my own idea about themselves. That is called the hypothesis. Means if I am saying that my BBA students or MBA students, both male and female, have the equal IQ level. So this is my hypothesis. And it is not a mere guess, as I told you. A research question. So research question is basically our big topic is further divided into a question form. This question form will help in two ways. We will finding the solution in a smaller terms, and also this research question will help to develop our questionnaire or our interview question. So first we will define the problem, we will identify the problem, we will formulate the problem, then we will go for the literature review, then we will work or develop our research hypothesis or the research questions or both. Then we will go for the research design. The research design means it's a methodology. Research design will have content many things, like what my total population is, how I will collect my sample, what type of my research is, whether it is exploratory, explanatory, descriptive, or what type of my research is. Type of research has to be defined. Different type of population has to be defined. How many sample I will technique, which technique I am going to use, how we will collect the data. These all things will be the part of research design. Then further we will move and we will collect the data. We will collect the data with primary data and the secondary data. Then we will analyze this data. Analyzing means getting the results of the data with the help of some statistics tools, descriptive statistics and the inferential statistics. Then we will interpret the data. Means what this result is saying. If one analysis is saying 80% male, 20% female. So what is your interpretation? The interpretation is like that. It can be like that. The most of my respondent are male than the female. Or dominant of my respondent are male than the female. Or this survey is more dominated by the male, 80% of the male and 20%. So this type of things is called the interpretation. On the basis of interpretation, on the basis of analysis, you are trying to give some solution. Then finally you will conclude the things and present the report. So these all 6 or 7 things, like the identification of a problem, literature review, research design, collecting of the data, analyzing of the data, interpretation of the data, giving the solution for the data, then finally conclusion and report writing. This is the complete process of a research, and this is also your course outline. We will learn in second chapter what is all about the research questions. First we will try to find out what is the research problem, what are the research questions, how to develop the research questions, what is the meaning of hypothesis. These things we will see. So then the last thing about this chapter, first chapter, is criteria of a good research. Criteria of a good research means even if you follow all the things, you are not getting not the desired result but the actual result, or if you are not able to get the solution of your actual problem, so whatever you have done, whatever the best design you have selected, whatever the best effort you have done, it will be not a good research. So these are the few criteria. I have only 6 criteria. So on the basis of these things, we should keep in our mind when we are conducting a research, so that our research will be a good research. One of the important characteristics of good research is the purpose of the research is clearly defined. It means your problem must be very much clear to you, to your respondent, to your organization. What is your problem? What is the causes of your problem? What you want to find. what you want to find, but it is not from what you desire to find. I want to this one, so it will be a result. It is not like that. On the basis of problem, what will be the second important characteristic of a good research is that the research method should be defined in a clear manner with a sufficient detail. Again, on the basis of your problem, on the basis of the title of the research, we have to clearly define what type of my research is, which method is appropriate over here, which technique is applied over here, how I will go through this one, what is my methodology for whole research. It will be must be clear. If my research is saying more of the qualitative things and I'm applying more of the quantitative methods, it will be not a good criteria of a good research. The third thing is to remember that any limitation and assumption made by the research, yes, you should know what is the limitation of my research. My research is not for all. I have conducted my research in Kabul, so I must say this research is conducted for this particular area, for this particular period of time. It will be helpful for this type of people. If I have conducted the research on school grade students, so my limitation is only school grade students. It cannot be applied for the college. We may say in our limitation that the further study is required for the college level students or the university level students. So we should know our limitation. As we should know our problem, we must have the right methodology chosen. We also have to we should know our limitation. Further, if you will see that the four things to remember is that as far as possible, the research design should be planned in a way that the result generated are the objective as possible. Yes. Objective means it must give the result specifically to my problem. My results should not be general. If I am saying that my research is related with the motivation level or how to increase the motivation of my organization, so I cannot give the general results, or my methodology should not give the general. It must be specific. I must be completely given my statistics method to the right way of information, a specific way of information, not the all employee of all the organization, not the specific or information for the specific organization, so that I get the objective fulfilled. Further, in order to deliver a good research, a researcher should confine the conclusion to those justified by the data. Yes, it is not our mere assumption, so that it is not our favor of the result. Because I like this one, so I will give this. No, whatever data never tell lie. If you analyze well, only the people who will be mixing the data with his own favor, that will be the lie. So instead of giving your favor result, we have to give the right result, so that we can give the right suggestion, so that company will apply this suggestion and go further for the next step. And lastly, a good research depends upon a great deal on the integrity and commitment of the researcher. Your commitment being a researcher is very required. Your honesty, your integrity, your ethical way, your try to be more honest towards your data, try to be more ethical towards your result. Don't try to be giving the same results of that one. So this type of things, being a researcher, whatever the data we are collecting, whatever the efforts, how much efforts we are putting in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of our knowledge, it will give the good criteria of the research, or it will be a good research. So if you can see that our problem, identification of a problem, according to the identification, we have to go for the literature review to enhance our knowledge. On the basis of literature review, on the basis of what you call as a problem, we have to select our method and methodology, and also we will plan the research design in such a way that we'll get the objective result, a specific result, and our result must be based on the data, not on our peer assumption or our favor. And finally, our commitment, our ethical is required to be a good research. So I hope you understand this chapter. This is the first chapter, this is the basic chapter, and under this chapter we have learned 6 things. First things what we have learned is the meaning of research, definition of research, through various scientists. Then we have seen that the type of research on the various bases. We have learned the 5 bases. Then we have learned about the motivation of doing research, general motivation and the specific motivation. Then we have moved to the scientific method or research and scientific methods. There are 4 main criteria. If your research falls under these 4 major criteria, it means your research is a scientific research. Then 5th things we have seen is the research process. From the problem identification to the report writing and the presentation, the all process must be followed in a systematic order. And finally, we have seen that what are the good research, or what are the different criteria to be a good research. So I hope you understand, you enjoy this session, you enjoy this chapter. Looking forward to see you in the next chapter, in the second chapter. Till then, enjoy your life and take care of yourself. Thank you very much.